Now, one thing I just want to quickly talk about is barrier, right? Why do I want to talk about barrier? So the first reason is because we added barrier generation to our chests, our gloves, and if I could, I would have added it to the helmet, but I can't, right? Because this is already done. Now, why did we add barrier generation? But first things first, let's talk about the pit, right? And this is just general advice for any Sorc player, not just Blizzard, but just any Sorc player in general, right? The way the pit works is from levels. So each level that you progress in the pit, the monster's damage scales up and their health scales up, right? So they get more health and they do more damage. The only exception to that is once you hit level 100, the damage stops, but the health keeps scaling, right? But what does that mean? That means that the first piece of the puzzle for any Sorc player that you need to solve is how tanky can I be to survive a tier 100? Once you have solved that problem, you no longer have to solve that problem for the rest of the tiers. The rest of the tiers, you're purely focusing on damage. You just want to figure out what threshold, what is the bare minimum amount of damage reduction that I can get where I can survive through a pit, and then you start focusing on all your damage, right? So what is one way you can do that is with your barrier, right? The first thing you need to do is you need to train your mind to think of your barrier like this. Whenever you see your health globe like this, and it is only red, you are one shot. Doesn't matter how much health you have. As you see here, I have 25,000 health. This is basically zero. Doesn't matter. In the pit, things will one-shot you when you don't have a barrier, right? Now, why am I stressing this? We have two ways to generate barrier. We have ice armor, and we have the protection perk. So whenever we use a cooldown, we get 30% of our max life as a barrier. Now, why is that important? Is because with the latest update that they did, they actually changed the visual of barrier. So if you go look at a previous video that I had, whenever you used an ability that gave you a barrier, your globe would just turn blue. Now they give you an indicator showing you how much barrier you actually have. So remember, when we use a cooldown, and let me take off this barrier generation stuff, right? So when we use a cooldown, we get 30% of our max life as a barrier. So I'm going to press Ice Blades, and you see this little line right here? This is our 30% as a barrier. So what you need to do in your mind, you need to say, whenever you glance down at your globe, if you only see this, you're at 30% health and you're one shot, right? Now, why is barrier generation so important? Because barrier generation adds to the barrier that we already get. So instead of 30%, now when I hit Ice Blades, we get a little bit more. So now we're up to here, right? So little things like that is going to help you survive. Now, the main way you're going to survive is with ice armor. So what does ice armor do? If we go into ice armor, right, we get a barrier of our base life, not our max life, our base life, and 5% of the damage we dealt is added to the barrier. So without barrier generation, this is how much barrier we get, right? We get 30% of our base life, right? Now, we throw in the armor pieces that give us the barrier generation. Now look where we're at. We're basically at half. So again, train your mind to say that wherever the line is, that's how much health you really have, right? So that is why I think barrier generation is important, because it gets you to where, based on our rules, that's where your max life is at. Now, why another reason why barrier generation is important is because one of the perks of ice armor is 5% of your damage dealt contributes to the ice armor, which means that we can actually get a full 25,639 ice armor, which is essentially doubling our health, right? So look, I'll hit ice armor, we're at half, and then I'll do damage, and now look, now we're at full. So now we basically have double life for the duration of our barrier. Although using ice armor, the more mana you spend, the more the cooldown is reduced. With that being said, if you're at full ice armor and then you cast ice armor again and you're not doing damage, it will drop down to whatever your barrier generation is at. So that's going to help you stay alive, right? So that's just kind of like a quick little tip I wanted to give. This is like kind of the way I solved the one shots in the pit. All that being said, That advice is only for people who aren't going the Flame Shield route. Obviously, going Flame Shield and actually being immortal, it takes priority over Ice Armor. The only problem is, to be fully immortal, it takes a lot of requirements. It's going to take a lot of gold and re-rolling, and I just feel like the average person probably doesn't have the time or the gold to do that. So that's the reason why I said, if you're one of those people like me, then just go barrier and just get your Ice Armor. Now, you will have to dodge some mechanics, but you know, it is what it is, right? All right. And so before I go through all the updates, the first thing I just wanted to say is, on my last video, a lot of people were saying nice things. I appreciate all the kind words. It really means a lot. And yeah, no crazy updates, but just a few, right? First things first. Now, this build planner right here is everything that I used from the equipment, skill tree, Paragon, exactly what I used to beat the Pit 110, right? Now, well, I will say this. I use this helmet here, but I think to push past a 110 without Ubers, I think you're going to need Godslayer's Crown. That is my best guess, because I think you're going to need a little bit more damage. You're going to see in this video on the side that, you know, I did die one time, so I did technically lose 30 seconds, but even with that 30-second loss, I mean, it was literally a photo finish. Like, I beat him with 1 second left. Basically 0 seconds left on the clock, right? So I think Godslayer's Crown giving that extra damage is definitely going to help. The first 3 changes that we made, right, is we added barrier generation to the helmet, the chest, and the arms, right? And as you saw in the little opening clip, those are the benefits of barrier generation. I think you should go for it, especially if you don't think that you can get the immortal build where you have like all the crazy cooldown reduction and all the flame shield duration and the ranks of flame shield and all that. If you don't have all that, then I think you should go the barrier generation route, right? Chest stays the same, other than the barrier generation. Same thing with the arms, stays exactly the same, and none of this other stuff stays the same. Oh, we did put Storm Swell on the ring as opposed to Conceited, because Storm Swell is now fixed. One other thing, if you want to use Ubers, now I personally haven't used it yet, but my best guess would be that this would be the setup. You definitely want Starless Skies, because once Starless Skies fix your resource issues, you can now use a better staff that has crit damage instead of resource cost reduction, which will be huge for your damage, because that's a lot of crit that you're getting that you were missing because you had to run resource cost reduction on the staff. And then the last thing I want to quickly touch on is, someone did ask me to make an immortal version. I want to say, this is the catch here, right? I have not played this version, so I'm just going off of what I assume are the requirements that you will need to be able to have that permanent flame shield. Again, I have not played this. You know, I do not think I'll be able to have the gold or the luck to be able to roll all the things that I think you need to get, because I'm pretty sure you need to like triple crit and have greater affixes and all this stuff. Now, also, you could use a focus here, and if you did, then you would need to make sure that you have a greater affix cooldown reduction, and you would need to triple crit that. And then maybe you'll be able to have everything you need, right? You also do less damage, right? So again, this is just, if you were to keep a staff, this is what these are all the things I think you would need, right? So yeah, that's just a heads up there. Again, I haven't played this. I can't confirm if this is the best that you would need, but yeah, there's that. Outside of that, I mean, that's pretty much all I got. The next thing that I'll be doing is, I kind of want to play around with Hydra and see if there's anything crazy going on with Hydra. But if not, then I'll probably move on to a Druid. And I think that'll be the next class that I kind of work on. It may take me some time to upload. Whatever I do, whether it be a Hydra or a Druid, it may take me some time to upload, because, you know, I just want to make sure that I've actually played the build. I pushed it as far as it can go. Like, for example, with this version right here, I pushed it to a 110. I'm satisfied with that. I think this is a good build. And so I want to make sure that I played it and actually put thought into it. I don't want to just rush and put out a video. So it may take some time. Just be patient if you can. And yeah, that's all I got. Peace.
ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I need time to prepare. I need time to prepare. I'm not ready yet. I need time to prepare. I'm not ready yet. I lack the need. I'm not ready yet. I need time to prepare. I'm not ready yet. I need time to prepare. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I need time to prepare. I need time to prepare. I need time to prepare. I'm not ready yet.